YouTube! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! How are you all? Are you ready for Christmas? Right, hopefully you're all ready for Christmas, because, you know, it's day 12, guys. It's day 13. Shit. Yeah. We've got a week left, guys. We've got a week left. I hope you're all ready and good to go. Anyway, guys, I want to talk to you about AI. I feel like we need a little bit of reasoning into the whole thing, because like everyone's going on a mad panic. Is this going to be a tough time for PC gaming? Yes, it's going to be a tough time for everyone in any sort of tech space, purely because of the AI farms. But are we in an AI bubble? Yes we are. But to understand why we're in an AI, why I say we're in an AI bubble, we first need to really understand why the AI boom is happening. Why everyone's so pent up to go out and build these AI farms. And it's purely just on the concept of AI. You see, the mathematical equations and algorithm that it's all based on, as a human race, we've known it for a while. We've known it for a bit. We just haven't had the compute power to do it. That compute power is here. So those that are hyped on it, like, let's be fair, Jensen, he's started to look a little bit like your classic nutty scientist that just doesn't care. Like, if you've ever played Fallout, for example, I can't remember the dude's name, but for just as an example, down where the fire ants are, is that 3 or 4? I can't remember. But there's plenty of characters in Fallout that literally fall along this, where the concept, their idea, the idea in their head. I mean, this isn't Jensen's idea. He's just built a hardware for it and makes loads of money off it because people want to build it, and he needs to keep this train going, because the idea of AI, the literally the description, once translated from mathematical speech, it basically determines it as finite. It can do pretty much anything that it wants to, and it can do it better than anyone else. But it hasn't had the compute power to get it there. So the concept of AI is what's driving these people to just throw money at it. But it paints this future where AI is doing everything, and that means that it's only the AI companies that are going to make money off anyone, so that things happen. But if no one's working, there's no one to buy anything. So there's no point building anything. So the only people that are going to make money off AI is the people that jumped on the modern wagon early and started making, like, you know, the small person that started making YouTube accounts with AI and stuff, so they're just doing minimal effort, maximum output. So those guys have made money off it. Nvidia, AMD, Intel, SK Hynix, Micron, and TSMC, they're all making money off it. They're the people that are going to really make money off it. And for each category, because each one of these farms is literally going to be designed to deal with a specific type, a specific command, each model will be designed to deal with its specific lane of information, or like robotics, thinking about like literally replacing, you got automated trucks and stuff, having AI control that so that they can respond to like the world in real time, sort of thing. Like, so they're going to be concentrating on stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, if all the delivery drivers are automated, if all delivery is automated, they're not going to have drones, because drones resemble too much an attack, so they don't want people to get used to drones flying around your face, because then you won't notice one when it's coming to drop a bomb on you. And there's quite a similarity to a drone carrying a package to a drone carrying a bomb. So they're not going to allow that to happen. This could be robots and stuff, and if you've got robots controlling all the stuff that we would normally have humans doing, then no one's earning any money. So, and if there's no one earning any money, then money, basically, society crashes and money has no value. So all that money that they're working towards, if they really got the future that they're working towards, their money would mean nothing, because no one's got anything. So everyone will just go back to swapping shit. No one's going to be making shit because no one's there to buy it. They can't have AI take over everything and take all the jobs from everything. But the greedy motherfuckers that are funding it can. And you've got people like Jensen, who is going a bit nutty professor over it. And you've got people like him who are just going a bit hardcore on it. And they're pushing this concept that people are going to make loads and loads of money. And if you've, like I said, I'll go back to Fallout, but also plenty of movies have had these nutty scientists that will say whatever they can do to an investor, because they don't care about how much money someone else is spending. You know, they don't care about that. They don't care about who gets hurt. If you fall out, they don't care who dies, because as long as they get to their answer. And that's what these people are literally doing. Jensen's pumping the hardware for these people to push these AI farms. You know, the Nvidia, AMD, and and obviously Intel's going to be trying to take a chunk of it as well. Like, they're pushing the processors that are going to literally be fueling the AI algorithm to work. And then you've got SK Hynix, TSMC, and Micron that are literally fueling the memory for it to run on, basically. But eventually eventually they're going to run out of farms to build. Yeah, like they're only going to build so many, and it's going to reach a point where these companies realize that they're not actually getting any money back yet, and they're going to want to just stop construction until they start showing money. There's investors behind all this. You have to look at it investment side. These farms are going to get so big until the investors are sick of the fact that they're still waiting for fucking money back. They've put all these billions of dollars into stuff, and they're not getting anything back. So they're going to stop building until they start recouping stuff. The only people that are going to be able to keep farming, building farms, are going to be the ones that have got endless cash. But that will all eventually burn out. And we're going to reach a point where literally the society will literally stem how much of society can have AI as part of it, because there's only so many jobs you can take away from society before the collapse of currency in any way, shape or form. Basically everything becomes free because no one's got anything to buy anything with. So there's only that so far it can go. In all honesty, the ones that I fear are going to have the biggest impact are going to be the system integrators, because it's only the strong are going to survive. You see, the problem is the companies that no one really gravitates to. Anyone in the gaming community are not going to immediately gravitate to Dell or HP, Lenovo. All of these companies are the ones that they're not going to necessarily go towards, the OEMs. But the problem is they're the ones that are going to be left, because they're the ones that would already have a good backstock of RAM and storage and stuff that they can lean on a little bit. They're going to have a good backstock in the flying around, because they're the big companies. It's the little ones, the ones that we would normally use. They're the ones that are going to get impacted so hard, because companies like Dell and HP and stuff are going to be able to hit price points that the system integrators just can't. The smaller companies just will not be able to hit those price points. And when people have no money, they go with the cheapest option. If the cheapest option is that, then we're back there, aren't we? And that's going to be the problem. We're gonna lose some good system integrators during this next year. It's going to be tough, guys. It is going to be tough. But if you want to try and upgrade within what the hardware that you've already got, if you need a PC, your probably best bet is to, as I said in the previous video, in the DRAM video, just search stuff that people aren't searching, if you get me. And you'll find some crazy, like Alienware, for example. No one wants an Alienware case, especially the older ones, so no one really thinks about looking at them. But you can get insane spec'd Alienware PCs with, like, sometimes it might be DDR4, but sometimes like 64 gigs. They will supply up to 128, if I remember. So you can find a crazy spec'd Alienware rig that no one's paying attention to because it's Alienware, or because it's LGA 1200 and it's like an 1100 i7, 11th gen Intel or something, because AMD is popular at the minute. So pretty much anything that's AMD is getting just snatched up because it's a buzzword, whereas Intel people are literally like, Intel, but they are. It just means that those platforms are not being searched by people at the moment. I'm not saying that this is going to last forever, but there could be some rigs lying around. And in all seriousness, on 11th gen, I would try and stay on 11th, not 10th, but on 11th gen Intel, if it's a i7 or an i9, they're solid 8-core CPUs. That was enough to carry you through. Like, you probably have a PC, a lot of you probably already have a PC that's going to carry you through, so you don't really need to stress or worry too much. But all I'm saying to people is just hold strong with the DRAM, and don't just leap on it as soon as you see it like drop 20 quid, because they're going to chisel it down until they see people biting stronger. Do you know what I mean? So they're going to want to keep it, find a price where they're getting a bit more money than they were before. But it's going to be a long slog. But we are in an AI bubble, and it's going to pop at some point. You know, like I said, there's a few things that are going to happen, right? Either there's going to be a realization that all of the integrations that they're trying to push into like the world and taking over other jobs and stuff isn't going to work for society, which means that society is going to have to stem how much of life can be AI, because otherwise it'll just run rampant and no one will have a job, and then society will crash. So society's gonna have to step in and be like, well, you can't do all of that with AI. It's gonna have to create some parts of it that are just straight up illegal to be AI, so that it doesn't get pushed, because it needs to have jobs. People need jobs. Do you know what I mean? If you've got robots and AI running literally everything, who's paying for everything? Because it's not the people, because they got nothing, because AI. So, you know, also AI is literally just, everything about it is like, it's focused on whatever you teach it. The dangerous thing about AI is not that it learns and stuff, it's just, well, there is that, but it's the fact that you can literally give AI a mindset by what you teach it. So it's dangerous in those terms as well. So it's going to have some governing happening, and all these farms are just trying to push as much infrastructure as they can before this governing steps in, because it has to happen. Also, on top of that, like I said, investors are going to reach a point where they're like, you're not getting any more money to build more shit until I start seeing money back. They're going to reach that point. That is why Jensen, the person that sells the hardware, and all these other companies are pumping up the price, and they're pushing and pushing, and you're like, you need this, you need to be the first person in. If you're not the first person in, you're not going to make the money. It's the first people in that are going to make the money for each section. So everyone's battling against each other, and Jensen's just like, ha ha ha, yeah, in his leather jacket, you know? So you can't blame a man for just making a shitload of money. But if your concept of AI eradicates the value of money, what's the point in making a shitload of it? Hey, Jensen, I don't for one second think that Jensen wants the whole world to be taken over by AI. I just think he's selling it. I don't think for one second he wants the whole world to be taken over by AI. AI making all the decisions, AI being all the information, AI running those trucks everywhere, doing all the manual labor, all the jobs. Imagine that future. He doesn't want that future. Because if he had that future, all his money would mean nothing. Like nothing. Because no one's working for money if there's no money to be had. Which means value is just gone. Currency is gone. So he doesn't want that future, but he wants to sell it because that's what he's doing. Like, you watch him on like I seen the clip of it, when he was on Joe Rogan. I seen that and I was just like, you literally look like an old school, like snake oil salesman. And he's like, oh, imagine this. And I'm just like, you really do look like the sort of like crazed scientist that doesn't care about the casualties as long as he gets his answers. Or just a straight up snake oil salesman that is just trying to push as much profit as possible until, the light bulb comes on. He's just trying to just pump as much money as possible until people's light bulbs come on. They're just all blinded by the concept of making more money than they could possibly imagine. Like, if you just put him in a checkered suit, Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and me rambling on, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. See you in the next one, guys. Love you, bye. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.